Oliver Adam, The Evolution of a Legend in the Anatomy of the Tiger Shot. The shot that changed everything. You have seen it 1,000 times. The wind-up, the step, the contact, and then that sound, that impossible, thunderous, world-ending sound, as the ball leaves the foot and tears through the air like something that was never meant to be stopped. You watched it as a child and you felt something shift inside you. Something that had nothing to do with cartoons or animation or Saturday morning television. You felt the possibility of greatness. The tiger shot, the drive shot. Call it what you want depending on where you grew up, what language you watched it in. But here is what nobody ever told you about that shot. It was not always there. Oliver Adam did not arrive in Newford already knowing how to do it. He built it, piece by piece, failure by failure, season by season. The tiger shot is not a technique. It is the physical manifestation of an entire journey. Chapter I. Oliver at the beginning. Raw talent without direction. When Oliver Adam first arrives in Newford, he is fast, technically gifted beyond his years, with an instinctive understanding of space that most children his age simply do not possess. The raw talent without structure is just energy. And energy without direction is just noise. The early Oliver is essentially a number 10 playing everywhere, creating chaos, producing moments of individual brilliance, but unable to consistently change a game on his own. He is a player of moments, not of systems. He understands what to do when the ball is at his feet. He does not yet understand what to do when it is somewhere else. Brilliant, electric, incomplete. Chapter 2. The coach WHO gave him AMAP. Roberto Cedinho changes everything. He is the first person who looks at Oliver and sees not just the talent, but the architecture underneath it. And he does not teach Oliver new tricks. He teaches Oliver how to think. The first lesson is positional. Oliver is a forward, someone whose primary function is to be in the right place at the right moment. For a player of Oliver's instincts, staying in a defined position feels like being asked to stop breathing. But Cedinho teaches him that sometimes the most important thing a forward can do is absolutely nothing. Stand still. Wait for the moment that hasn't arrived yet. The second lesson is tactical. Oliver learns to read defensive shapes. To understand that the run he makes 30 seconds before the ball arrives is what creates the goal, not the touch he takes when it gets there. He is learning, for the first time, to play football with his mind. And it is during this period that the foundation of the tiger shot begins to form. Not the technique itself, the understanding of when to use it. Chapter 3. The Anatomy of the Tiger Shot. Let us be precise about what the tiger shot actually is. In its earliest form, it is essentially a power drive, a technique designed to maximize force and accuracy through a specific combination of approach angle, body position, and point of contact. The approach is diagonal. That diagonal run creates a natural swinging motion that generates both power and curl. The ball travels in a controlled arc that makes it significantly harder for a goalkeeper to judge. The body position at contact is everything. Weight forward, over the ball, the non-kicking foot planted slightly behind and to the side. This loads the striking leg with potential energy, the difference between a punch and a shove. The contact point is the instep sweet spot, connecting with the lower half of the ball to keep it low and driven. In real football terms, this is a technically sophisticated technique. Elite strikers use variations of exactly this approach. What makes the tiger shot fictional is the degree, the power beyond human capacity, the absolute accuracy, the speed no goalkeeper could track. But the geometry is real. That is the genius of Takahashi's design. Every impossible element is built on a foundation of genuine football technique. Chapter IV. The Combination. The tiger shot does not exist in isolation. This is something casual viewers sometimes miss, and it is perhaps the most tactically interesting aspect of Oliver's development. The shot becomes most dangerous when set up by a specific sequence of team play. Masaki draws defensive attention wide or deep, forcing the opposition to shift their shape. This creates, for a fraction of a second, a lane through the center of the defensive block. Oliver reads that lane before it opens. He is already moving into it when the space appears. Not reacting, anticipating. The difference between those two things is everything in high-level football. Reaction is what average players do. Anticipation is what great players do. By the time the ball reaches Oliver, he is already in the perfect position to execute the tiger shot without a controlling touch. First time, no adjustment needed. In real football terms, This mirrors some of the most effective attacking partnerships the professional game has ever seen. The creative midfielder who attracts pressure, and the striker who exploits the space that pressure creates. Chapter V. Benji and the Arms Race. You cannot talk about the evolution of the tiger shot without talking about Benji. Because it did not evolve in a vacuum. It evolved in direct response to a goalkeeper who kept finding ways to stop it. This is one of the most sophisticated ideas in the entire Captain Tsubasa story. The relationship between Oliver and Benji is not just an emotional rivalry. It is an arms race. Every time Oliver develops a new variation, Benji finds a way to read it. Every time Benji develops a new technique to stop it, Oliver adapts. In sports science, this is called co-evolution. Two players developing in direct response to each other, each one driving the other to heights they could never have reached against lesser opposition. Benji learns to watch Oliver's non-kicking foot rather than his eyes or body angle, because that foot telegraphs direction before any other visual cue. Oliver, knowing this, adjusts the approach angle, shifts the contact point, changes the timing of his run. Two players, one rivalry, an endless loop of adaptation and counter-adaptation. That loop is why both of them become the best in the world. Not despite each other, because of each other. Chapter V. What Oliver teaches us about player development. Step back from the animation for a moment. Look at the arc of Oliver's development and ask yourself, does it remind you of anyone? The raw talent that arrives undirected. The coach who provides tactical structure. The signature technique that evolves through competition against a specific rival. The final mastery that looks effortless because it was built on years of effort that nobody saw. This is not a fictional arc. This is the arc of almost every great footballer who has ever played the game. Ronaldo did not arrive at Manchester United as the player he became at Real Madrid. The raw material was extraordinary. The structure and tactical education came later. Messi's left foot was always there, but the player who orchestrates an entire team's attack from a false nine, reading defensive shapes nobody else sees, that player was built through years of development and coaches who trusted the process. Takahashi, writing Oliver's story in 1981, understood something that sports scientists would spend the next 4 decades trying to quantify. Talent is the starting point, not the destination. The destination is built through adversity, through tactical education, through rivalry, through failure, through the willingness to keep adapting when you already know is no longer enough. Oliver's tiger shot is great not because Oliver was born with it. It is great because he earned it. Outrow, the shot that never lands. Here's the thing about the tiger shot that nobody talks about. It never really lands. Not in the way that matters most. Every time Oliver takes it, every time that ball leaves his foot and tears through the air, something happens in the person watching. Something that has nothing to do with whether the ball goes in or not. They remember why they love this. They remember the feeling that made them fall in love with football in the first place. The feeling that anything is possible if you want it badly enough and work for it long enough and refuse to stop believing that the next attempt might be the one that changes everything. That feeling is what every child who ever watched the show carried out of it and onto a pitch somewhere in the world. The tiger shot is not a technique. It never was. It is a reminder. A reminder that the distance between who you are and who you could become is not fixed. That it closes with every training session, every match, every moment of failure followed by the decision to try again. Oliver Adam took that shot 1,000 times. And every time, he was telling you that the shot is always worth taking. Until next time.